Well, even though it feels like we're weeks into the new season of Married at First Sight, tonight is actually the premiere, the actual start of a season. We had a 3 hour episode that really pretty much felt like 2 hours of replaying everything we'd already seen about our new couples, our new matches. And then we got into the bachelor party a little bit and one wedding. If this year is anything like last year, they are going to drag this thing out. I'm expecting at least another 2 episodes for weddings, maybe even more. That's just becoming the norm for this show. Just drag these moments out as long as possible so that we can gloss over all the important things later. Before we jump into our couples, one little topic I want to cover first, and that is bachelor and bachelorette parties. I was sitting there watching tonight, and it really got me thinking, they're just bad ideas. Like think about that. It's your last night as a free man, so you better go and get as many lap dances from a stripper as possible. You better get so drunk you don't remember what you're doing and who you are. It just seems silly. In most cases, you've probably been together with this person for years, and then you're like, I'm gonna go have a night and just behave terribly. That seems like a great way to kick off our marriage. Just like I would even just say an archaic practice that maybe needs to go away. I personally did not have a bachelor party, just based on how we got married. We actually told our friends and family the day before we got married, it was Friday afternoon. I sat down with my parents. I was like, hey, I'm getting married tomorrow. You want to come? So a little different situation, but anyways, just my thoughts. And let's get into our couples. First couple that we're going to jump into has to be Lindsay and Mark. I've got a lot to say about this couple, but not nearly as much as I'm sure Lindsay would say if she was in my position. Wow, that woman does not shut up. We are one episode in, and I'm already sick of listening to her. I feel bad for Mark already. They're not even to their wedding party, and he's already given looks like, what the hell did I sign up for? Anyways, back to the start. They were really playing up the situation with Mark's mom. I don't know how much of a factor that is going to be. From what we saw, there was 2 phone calls with his mom this episode. One to say, oh, hey, mom, I'm getting married. Another to say, hey, mom, I'm getting married in an hour. And his mom just being like, yeah, whatever, see you later. Very weird. Lindsay, so she was supposed to get married 1 year ago. That feels a little bit too quick to me to be just jumping straight into another relationship. Maybe she's ready to start dating, but I don't know if that's enough healing time to be ready for another marriage. Usually, even if she broke up with or called off that wedding, whatever it was, 5 days before the wedding, and a year later she starts dating seriously, maybe that's a little normal. But she's jumping straight into a marriage. Feels a little soon. And on this show, histories of people who have gotten out of serious relationships, basically within a year of getting married at first sight, it just doesn't work. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but just something to think about as we move forward with Mark and Lindsay. Shout out to whoever is doing Mark's eyebrows. That wax job was real, Chris, absolutely on point. He might have the best eyebrows of the season so far. The line right above his eye, absolute perfection. If you didn't notice, make sure you check it out next week because you will be jealous. Lindsay, let's jump back over to her. And learns a little bit more about her today, and she does not actually care about getting a husband. She just wants a big dick. You know, we heard it over and over and over. She just wants a monster dong, and that is it. And you know what, Lindsay, if this marriage doesn't work out, you can always go pawn that ring off and get yourself some sex toys. Like one episode in, and sick of her just being vulgar for the sake of being vulgar. Like, even like she's like intentionally trying to embarrass her dad. Like, she's making that joke about how she likes it to hurt a little bit, and then they pan the camera over to her dad, who just has to be sitting there. Just terrible. And then like the whole wedding ceremony, she just wouldn't shut up. Like, I wonder how long she actually talked before the justice of the peace, or whoever was doing that ceremony, actually got to start, because there was like a definite cut between Lindsay and Mark holding hands and talking to all of a sudden, them standing like 5 feet apart and the guy starting the ceremony, and then she kept talking over the vows. Just it feels disrespectful to me, to be honest. Like what she has to say is more important than Mark's vows. Like, that's your husband giving his wedding vows. It's not you doing your stand-up routine at the local bowling alley. It's your marriage. Yeah, one episode in, over Lindsay and her big mouth. And then how is the lady with cats also allergic to cats? Like, that's what they base this match on, is, hey, they both got cats. Perfect. Just ridiculous. All right, now let's jump to our second couple of the week, and that is going to be Isaac and Katina. Yes, that is right. He will be Isaac until proven otherwise. Until this man proves that he is not Isaac, he will be known as Isaac, and we will refer to him as Isaac. Like, he's going and telling his friends and family about, hey, I'm getting married. And then he starts going off about how his wife is going to need to have a hot meal ready for him when he gets home from work every single day. And, they kind of cut to like a wider shot there, and his coach is just sitting there laughing at him. Like, sitting there laughing, like, can't even take the guy serious when he's telling his friends and family that he's getting married. So like, that should set the standard for what we should expect from this man moving into the wedding. And then we cut to Katina, and she starts describing like the man she doesn't want to be with. And maybe one of the producers wasn't listening and like missed the part where she's like, this is what I don't want. And then she goes on to like perfectly describe Isaac. Pretty brutal. And this is just a couple just set up for failure. Like, this has to be like a 0% chance couple immediately, and they haven't even met yet. How'd you like Isaac meeting up with all the guys and then immediately bragging about how he used to cheat on women and sleep around when he was in college? Like, immediately, like, that was the first thing. Like, hey, what impression do I want to send out to these men? And that's what it was. Like, even at the bachelor party, I think it was Chris, and like, while Isaac is grinding with the stripper's leg is around his head, ass cheeks bouncing off his face, and Chris says, like, if you want to see like the definition of someone who's ready for marriage, that's it right there. And like, so spot on. Isaac is exactly what any woman doesn't want. We go to him talking with his friends, and he's like, hey, I want a woman who's gonna come to the strip club with me. I want to have that confidence that if somebody smacks her on the ass, like, I'm gonna do something about it. And even his friends are like, yo, what the hell are you talking about? Like, that is not what you signed up for, man. You are not getting a woman who's going to want to go to the strip club with you. And honestly, if you did, that's, to me, that's not wife material. And like, if you want to go to the strip club with your wife, you're not husband material. Absolutely ridiculous. Once again, feel bad for Katina because we've glossed over her completely once again. Isaac is the star of the show. Isaac is going to be the downfall of this relationship. And real excited. Like, wish that we could have like a we could get like a picture-in-picture cam of Isaac sitting there watching tonight's episode of him with the strippers. Maybe with his family and friends. Maybe Coach is there. Coach can watch that ass cheek bouncing off his face and like look at Isaac and say, "Hey, good play, son. Good play." All right, let's move on from Isaac and Katina. And Katina, I am so sorry for you already. You were probably so looking forward to this experience, and that is the man that you got paired with. All right, let's jump over to Alyssa and Chris. These last three couples don't really have as much to say about them this week. I'm sure we will in subsequent weeks. I feel like Alyssa and Chris are kind of going to go to the back burner at the start. Looked like their wedding was not part of next episode. I could be wrong there, but that's kind of the vibe that I got. Alyssa, like, she was really looking for someone with drive, and then they showed Chris, and his drive on the disc golf course looked fantastic. I didn't realize when we were talking about him playing disc golf, this is basically a professional athlete. This is someone competing at a high level locally in disc golf, and I think that's going to be exactly what Alyssa meant when she said that she wants someone with drive. We had that scene with Chris and his mom, and it really felt like his mom had no clue what was going on. Like, Chris, the moment he said, "Hey mom, I'm getting married in 2 weeks," that was the first time that she even was aware that he had even started this process, even applied for this show. She's sitting there, like, he even had to lie to her to get her to the location where they were filming, and it was like, "Mom, this is actually not a real estate event. And first off, why are you inviting your mom to a real estate event? Like, you trying to sign your mom up for a timeshare or something?" Pretty ridiculous. Alyssa, they showed her like on her moment where she's telling all her family and friends, there's a mom and like 3 friends sitting there, and that group of women, those are the people that I grew up with. That is the exact group of women that I spent lots of time with growing up in my early 20s, and maybe some of them are watching this, so maybe I should just say nice things, but doesn't just strike me as a match for Chris. Even seeing her at the bachelorette party, she's just off with her friends in the corner. The 2 friends that were with her at the bachelorette party, they seemed like they wanted nothing to do with anyone else on the planet. They just wanted to be in their very exclusive little world, and I just can't see that working out. We hear a lot of the right things out of Alyssa's mouth so far, and hopefully that means she's going to enter into this with an open mind, but I just don't feel like it. Like, I'm almost like Ryan from last season. I'm almost thinking that that's what we're going to get out of her this season. Someone who just had this idea of what she wanted, didn't get it right out of the gate, and is just going to shut down on this relationship. Maybe that's a little harsh for how little we've seen and know about her, but that's just the vibe I get. All right, let's jump to my early favorite couple of the season, and that is Jasmina and Michael. They're the only couple that I predicted as a yes for this season, but we gotta start with a little negative that happened tonight, and that was Jasmina telling her friends and family about being chosen for the show and she was hit with a wall of negativity. I always hate that. You know, you have someone in your life who's making a major life decision and receiving no support from her support system. You know, you don't have to think it's the best idea. You don't have to agree with what she's doing, but you have to give her the chance to make that decision, and you have to support her in that decision. You know, you don't know the guy. You don't know what this marriage is going to be like, and you've set the tone before even meeting the guy that you're going to approach this in a negative way, and it's just not healthy for Jasmina or the relationship. Hopefully that does not continue as we get into the wedding. But on the other side, we got to see Michael, and Michael, he was absolutely showered with love from his sisters when he let them know that he was getting married. You know, that is what you want to see. Someone who has this support system, who actually supports him, doesn't tear him down. They build him up. They want the best for him. You know, when they're specifically talking about Michael, his friends and family were, I thought, a little overly critical of him. But, you know, they're still positive and want good things for him. I love to see that, and really excited to get to see these two together. Hopefully we get that wedding next week. Lastly, we have Noy and Steve. First, we got to talk about, what does Steve do? What the hell is a sales engineer? That is not a real job. That is made up. He just made that up. Like, they probably asked him, like, oh, what do you do for a living? And he was like, I'm in sales. And like, what kind of sales do you do? And then he said, engineer, sales engineer. Yep, sales engineer. That's not a real job. That's made up. You know, not only does this guy not have a job, he doesn't even know what job he wants. He just made one up. That's not looking promising for Noy, who was expecting a man to be making six figures. That just might not be the guy for her. And then jumping over to Noy, how can you be a hopeless romantic but also have an alter ego that to go out and party as? It just doesn't line up for me. Like, what, like which person are you, Noy? Are you Noy? Are you noisy? You know, I'm not willing to go so far as to start referring to Noy as noisy quite yet, unlike our poor young friend Isaac. But with something we will have to watch out for. One other thing that I kind of picked up on about Noy was, you know, she immigrated to the United States. Her family did. Sounded like she grew up very poor, but a very loving, happy family. And then, you know, I kind of got the vibe that she wants a different life for herself. You know, I don't know if that matches up with those values that she's bringing into the show, and hopefully that the little materialistic stuff that we've seen from her isn't truly what she wants, because I think those could be things that hold her back from having a successful relationship. You know, if she embraces who Steve is and his free-spiritedness, you know, if it's an actual free-spiritedness and not just a midlife crisis, this could be a solid match, but we'll have to wait and see until these two are together and see how they blend together. All right, that's going to be it for tonight. As always, thank you everybody so much for watching. Really looking forward to this season. I know it wasn't long since the last season, but I am happy to be back. You know, had a nice break over the holidays, and I'm ready to talk about some of these shows. Expect a lot more videos from me this year. on a lot more shows than I was doing last year. Got a little stagnant last year and gonna try to break that habit this year. You know, already we're gonna be covering The Bachelor and Married at First Sight. I'm probably gonna do RuPaul's Drag Race, even though I don't always get the best reception for those reviews, but I love the show, so I'm gonna cover the show. Hope that all of you out there have enjoyed this, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and very much looking forward to this season, and we'll see you later.